Are you new to the watercolor journey and not able to figure it out from where to start? I think you are in the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you something very simple which everyone can draw and paint. This technique is also called line and wash, wherein we can start with the drawing first and then we can paint it using watercolor. As far as drawing is concerned, I'm keeping it very simple considering beginners, but you can draw anything complex as well. I'm using 140 GSM drawing sheet and I'm using normal ball pen to draw. Now think about any pattern which you like to draw. I'm drawing a group of flowers, stems and leaves. For the flowers, you just need to draw round shapes of different sizes, but you can keep the edges wavy instead of smooth. I think this is something anyone can draw, and because these are the flowers, you can add a small dot inside it which indicates the center part of the flower or the ovary of the flower. Now this is the one group having a stem in it, but you can create multiple groups like this, like I have created this one. So I think we can create 2 to 3 more groups of small and the bigger sizes. Not necessarily you need to create a big group. You can keep few groups smaller and a few groups bigger. Don't forget to add stems because we cannot keep the flowers hanging. But the process is same for all the flowers, stems and leaves. So whenever you have a group of flowers, end those group with the help of extended leaves in it. Now for example, I am creating one more group here, creating round shape again and creating a smaller dot inside it to create the center part. Now extend few more lines above to it to create the leaves. These are very small leaves having group of 3 to 4 leaves in it, and I am creating all these leaves around every flower group that we have. So extend a line and then create small groups of leaves around it. So I think this is the basic structure for the stems, flowers and the leaves. I am repeating the same thing for the flowers, for the leaves and for the stems. So you can do until you will get satisfaction with your composition. So you can keep it smaller as well, or you can keep it bigger. I'm adding few more foliages around the stems in the lower direction. You can create more groups of flowers and leaves as well. So do it until you get the satisfaction. I think this much is enough for me. And we can start with some more sketching around this particular composition. So this is my basic composition having flowers and leaves into it. Now with the help of hatching method, create more lines around the flowers and the leaves that we have. So hatching means creating parallel lines side by side. You can keep the length of lines as per your need. So I'm not adding these lines with equal lengths. I'm randomly adding few smaller and few bigger lines. So with the help of these lines, you will get more shades around your drawing. So I'm adding these lines vertically first to get some extra shading around my flowers and the leaves, keeping the variation in the length, and then you can keep the same thing horizontally. So I'm trying to keep the shade greater around the flowers and then lighter around the background. So I'm adding more horizontal line. Again, the length of the line is not similar. You can keep few lines bigger and few lines smaller. Although these things are not important, if you're not comfortable doing these things, avoid it. In the second variation, we are going to keep our drawing simpler than this one. But this one I'm trying to focus more on the drawing side. So I'm doing everything which we can do. So once you're done with the hatching process, hatching means creating lines, and then cross hatching means creating cross line. You can keep these lines in any direction not necessarily vertically or horizontally, you can keep diagonally as well. So do it until you will get satisfaction, but do not add any line around the flowers. I want to keep flowers little lighter in shade, so that's why I'm not adding any lines around it. So I'm adding these lines around the leaf area and around the flower. Now you can add little darker shade of leaves. You don't have to do it for all, but few leaves you can add with the darker shade. Now do this hatching process and cross hatching process until you will satisfied with your drawing process. Now you can see this drawing itself is very nice, wherein we can see the leaves, we can see the flower groups, we can also see the background as well. So I think this much is enough. Now I'm using size 6 round brush. You can keep little bigger, little smaller based on your composition. And then you can start with the watercolor painting. So you don't have to worry about how much water you need. Just use normal watercolor consistency and start adding colors around your flower. So I'm adding this pink flower. You can use any color, whatever you like to see into your flowers. Now, because we have added everything around the flowers, like center part of the flower with the help of dots, we also have defined the stems and everything. So we just need to put these colors around the flower area. Now literally I'm not thinking too much around how we can add these colors around the flowers. So I'm simply doing it, putting colors around the flower area. Even I'm not thinking about the round shape that we have around the flower. So I have added this yellow orange color. I'm thinking to convert all these flowers little bit towards on the red side. So that's why I'm doing it again. So you can do something like this to get different shades of color, or else you can keep the color same for all the flowers. Totally fine. Now as you can see, this is very simple. You don't have to think about how much water you need. You don't have to think about the area and the proportion of the flower, nothing. Now you can add few leaves, darker leaves, and I'm going to do this step only for few leaves that we have. Now think about this particular composition wherein we are able to see the stems and leaves and flowers. Now we have colors as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to create the background with the help of green color and blue color. So first I have started with the green color. So I have mixed blue, yellow and little bit of red to make this kind of green. You can directly use green from your palette. We have defined everything with the help of pen. You just need to add these color around your flowers and to create the background. Now because we have created the horizontal line and vertical line, so I'm keeping all these colors, making some lines horizontally and vertically. So I'm moving my brush stroke in that direction so that we can see some vertical and horizontal line. Although you can add these colors randomly, even you don't need to think about that. Now I'm done with the green color. Let me add blue color as well. Again, I'm moving my brush horizontally and vertically to get some extra angle and direction into my background as well, like we have done with the drawing. Now if you are an absolute beginner, this might be little complicated for you because we have created flowers and then we have done sketching process, we have used cross hatching and hatching for the background, and we have created few flowers and the leaves. Might be complicated, although it's quite simple. But in the second version, I'm keeping this flower more simple as compared to this one. So if this one is also difficult for you, let's move to the second one, wherein we are going to keep everything very simple. Now in this one I have started with the watercolor. So I'm using this pink color and I'm creating a small round structure to create flowers. Again, for this particular one as well, I'm creating group of flowers. I want to keep flowers simple, so this is the simplest form of flowers, I guess. So I'm keeping this round structure and creating groups of flowers. You can keep small negative space if you can at all, otherwise leave it. Once you're done with the flower pattern, again you can create your own complex composition, totally fine. I'm keeping it very simple and smaller, and the group of flowers are also smaller in size, so I think this much is fine. Now with the help of green color, create stems. So I'm adding multiple stems to attach all the flowers together. We cannot keep our flowers hanging, so definitely we need something like this. Again, you can draw your own type of flowers. You can keep these flowers in the lower direction like the flower vine. You can choose any kind of flower, but I want to make it resemble from the first one, so I'm keeping the similar kind of structure. Now add leaves like we did for the first one. We did with the help of pen, this time we are doing with the help of watercolor. Now see, this one is not that great, right? It is looking like someone who don't know about watercolor have painted it. So I have done it purposefully to show you how we can make this beautiful. So now with the help of ball pen, start adding this round structure, or I should say start highlighting the stems, flowers and the leaves. You can outline the flowers, you can add stems with the help of pen, and you can outline the leaves. You can create few extra leaves also with the help of pen. So first we did a basic guideline with the help of watercolor. Now we are highlighting the area, we are outlining the flowers and leaves with the help of pen. Now this structure is looking far better than the previous one. Now we can think about background. So again, I'm using same color, blue and the green, and adding the background around it. Make sure your colors have dried completely, and then you can move your brush horizontally and vertically to get same kind of pattern what we have in the first one. Now you can add your background like this, and you can keep your painting like this much. But if you can add some extra horizontal and vertical line in the background as well, like we did for the first one, I think that would be better. So I'm adding few vertical line, few horizontal line. Again, the lines are not same, few are smaller, few are bigger, but I'm keeping these lines few, not too much. I don't need any dark shade with these lines with the help of pen. So basically I'm doing hatching and cross hatching with the help of pen, but at distance. So I want to keep the background lighter as compared to the first one, and I have done more with the watercolor as compared to the drawing. So these are the two ways from where you can start your watercolor journey, or you can start your drawing journey. So hope you have liked it, and thank you so much for watching.